Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, The Latest Astrologer. My name is Rohit Kapoor. In my channel, I make videos on Vedic astrology, most importantly the transits of all times all across the year. I have recently started a series of video on monthly transit updates, and you must check out my latest video on predictions for all ascendant sign or the moon signs in the month of April. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the bell icon. Keep yourself up to date with all the upcoming transit videos and videos on Vedic astrology, as I continue to keep things very simple for you. In case you wish to book a personalized consultation with me, you can check out the link to my website in the comment section and the process of reaching out to me. This video today is about Venus's transit in its exaltation sign of Pisces. In case you'd like to learn more about Venus, you must check out my latest video that I exclusively made about Venus and its significance in the year 2024. In that video, I have shared some very interesting insights about planet Venus. I have pasted the link in the comment section, and you can check out this video to learn more about Venus, which is the planet of interaction, love, abundance, harmony, partnership, and relationships. So Venus is moving into its exaltation sign of Pisces on 31st of March, and it is going to stay in its sign of exaltation till 24th of April. Please remember that this kind of transit of Venus only comes once in a few months, and Venus is spending less than 30 days this time in the sign of Pisces, which is its exaltation sign. During this transit, majority of time it will go through two different nakshatras. From April 3rd till the 14th of April, it will be in transit in Uttara Bhadrapad nakshatra. This nakshatra is ruled by Saturn, which means during this time, wherever the sign of Libra falls in your chart is likely to demonstrate some sort of positive results. On 14th of April itself, it will move to Revati nakshatra, which is its deepest exaltation point. Yes, the deepest exaltation point for Venus lies in Revati nakshatra, which is the last of the 27 nakshatras, and Venus is going to stay in this nakshatra till 24th of April. Now during this transit, Venus is going to come across some other planets as well. It is going to have complex conjunctions. It will come in contact with Sun in the sign of Pisces. It will also come in contact with Moon. It will be conjoined with Rahu, and on 8th of April, it will also participate in the first solar eclipse of the year. If you wish to learn more about this phenomena and how it will have an impact on different ascendant and moon signs, you must check out my video on April predictions, wherein I have specifically spoken about the solar eclipse. Venus will also come in contact with Mercury for some time, and Mercury will be debilitated in the sign of Pisces, but it will be getting Nicha Bhanga by the support of Venus. Therefore, I can say in this complex conjunction in the natural 12th house, the sign of Pisces, Venus has a greater say because it is the strongest as far as the dignity is concerned. It is exalted in its joyful space at this time. So therefore, Venus gains the maximum strength, maximum bala, and the final authority to take certain decisions. By the conjunction of Rahu, what Rahu does with Venus is it expands its significance, it multifolds its significance in the matter of love, relationship, harmony, interest. At the same time, there are some negative connotations as well. Individuals are expected to get into some sort of overindulgence, which is also linked to the 12th house. So these are some of the things which one must be careful of. Coming in contact with Mercury, which is Venus's best friend, is quite a fruitful yoga to be occurred in Pisces, where Venus is exalted and Mercury is getting Nicha Bhanga till the time it is conjoined Venus. So the first half of April, Venus is conjoined Sun. With Rahu, it is conjoined all throughout this transit. And with Mercury, it is going to be conjoined between 8th of April till 24th of April. Now, let me also share with you, most importantly, some very important dates. There is a time period of 3 to 4 days when Venus is in its deep exaltation. It is extremely powerful. Please make a note of these dates. It is between 21st of April till 24th of April, where Venus is in the sign of Pisces in the natal chart. Venus is also Vargottama, which means it is in the sign of Pisces in the Navamsha chart as well, in its exaltation. This is the deepest level of exaltation, and Venus is one of the only planets that gets exalted in the natal chart and also in the Navamsha or the D9 chart when it is achieving its deepest exaltation. Therefore, it's an extremely powerful Venus. I could very confidently say that between 21st to 24th of April is an excellent time for manifesting harmony in your life, relationships, interaction, all the kinds of abundance that is associated with Venus during this time. This is the natural second house lord, the natural seventh house lord coming into the natural 12th house of the zodiac. 12th house also represents feet. This is one of the reasons Venus likes to get exalted in the sign of Pisces, because Venus is closely associated to Lakshmi, and we all know the kind of love and affection that goddess Lakshmi has for Lord Vishnu. So who's going to have a maximum impact of this transit of Venus's exaltation in the sign of Pisces? In case you're running through a dasha, antardasha, pratantardasha, where Venus is playing a role, Sun is playing a role, Mercury is playing a role, Jupiter is playing a role, Rahu is playing a role, Ketu is playing a role, or even Saturn is playing a role, or Mercury is playing a role, because Venus is going to go through Revati Nakshatra, which is lorded by Mercury. You are likely to be impacted by this transit. Therefore, this transit can have an effect on a large number of people. Now, during this time, it will go through two nakshatras, as I mentioned before, Uttara Bhadrapad Nakshatra and Revati Nakshatra, which is lorded by Saturn and Mercury respectively. So, during this time, wherever the sign of Libra and Virgo falls in your chart, where Saturn and Mercury get exalted, is likely to deliver some sort of positive results during this transit. Venus by its 7th aspect will be aspecting the sign of Virgo. So wherever Virgo falls in your chart, you need to pay careful attention to this sign, to this house, and how it is playing a role in your chart. What are the kind of planets that are placed, because those planets for that time period will have the blessings of Venus, because Venus will have the desire to improve the significations of this house, to improve more at a physical level, also at a mental level. It will give the power of harmony, the power of peace and interaction to the grahas that are placed in the sign of Virgo, wherever it falls in your chart. So that needs to be paid careful attention. Now let's talk about how this transit is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs and the moon signs. At a physical level, you must read this transit from your ascendant sign, and you can also read this transit at a mental level from your moon sign. Let's now first talk about Aries ascendants and how this transit of Venus in its sign of exaltation is going to have an impact on Aries ascendants. Venus for you is the second house ruler and the 7th house ruler. Venus for Aries rules the house of income, wealth, which is accumulated wealth, your overall savings, those people who you would like to protect, which is your family, how and what you feed yourself. These are some of the important second house significations. We also see speech from the second house. So second house, in my opinion, there are two important aspects of it. One is speech, the other is consumption. So it's a lot to do with our mouth. Okay, and Venus also rules the 7th house of partnership, marriage, relationship, those people who are opposite to you, your outer world. This house also represents business. It represents harmony of all kinds. Venus is making a transit in your 12th house of liberation, 12th house of moksha, 12th house of losses, 12th house of giving away. It is also the house of sleep and bed comforts, and most importantly, self-actualization, self-realization, self-reflection. And at a basic level, it is all about self-awareness, because this is all very much connected. This is an important transit for Aries ascendants because Venus is getting into this space. So what means is that your income is coming in the house of expenditure. Your marriage is coming in the house of expenditure and losses. So these are the two areas that you need to focus a lot over the next 25 to 30 days, which is your family, your partnership and relationship. This is an opportunity window for you to mend those ties within your family and within your partnership. Very common advice that I'd like to give to all Aries, Ascendant and Moon signs is to watch your expenditure. Focus a lot on savings during this time. The more you save, the better it will be for your future related decisions. So you need to spend a lot more time in terms of building your financial acumen during this time. However, Venus's this transit is excellent for any kind of devotion, so any kind of prayers that you do or any god that you believe in and you devote yourself during this time, you will have the blessings because the energies are very much on a positive side. You must also understand the solar eclipse is happening in your 12th house, which can cause some disturbance in your sleep. So you have to focus on Venus. Venus for Aries ascendants is not the best of the planets, but Venus is one of that grahas that does really well in the 12th house. You're really protected, all the while Considering if Venus was not involved in the solar eclipse, then this could have been detrimental towards your health in case your dasha was not supportive. So during this transit, any kind of prayers that you do, you're likely to have blessings, and that is the only remedy that I can suggest. Focus on prayers, focus on enhancing your spiritual quotient. Venus by its 7th aspect will be aspecting your 6th house of daily routines, of debts, diseases, health and well-being. So you need to focus a lot on your overall mental and physical health, because this is something which Venus desires. Venus wants to put harmony in your daily routine and daily life. That is why it is asking you to slow down, to relax and spend quality time with your kids, with your family, with your spouse. In case you're not married, this could be an optimum time to find someone with whom you can develop a connection at the soul level, most importantly. Okay, so this is what Venus demands or desires during this time, and you must listen to Venus. During this transit, the 6th house and 7th house of your chart is likely to demonstrate some sort of positive results. So your daily routine is going to improve. You're going to be spending more time with your partner to improve certain relationship, and you're also likely to get some favors from those people who are opposite to you. Overall, I feel it's a mixed transit and a mixed month for you, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Taurus ascendants. For Taurus ascendants, Venus is the Lagna Lord, or the Lord of the Ascendant of yourself, because Venus rules Taurus and Libra. It is your first Lord and your 6th Lord. For Taurus, Venus becomes the Lord of yourself, which is your overall personality, your body, vitality, immunity, who you are in this world. And Venus also rules the 6th house, which is the house of competition, your daily routines, debts and diseases. We also see Shadripu, or 6 enemies of the mind, from the 6th house. We also see job from the 6th house. So Venus plays a very important role in these matters. Now this Venus is making a transit in your 11th house, in its exaltation sign of Pisces. Your first Lord going into the 11th house is a clear Dhan Yoga. How this Dhan Yoga is working, how this wealth yoga is working during this time, you're likely to earn wealth by your own intelligence and also by the virtue of your job. So there could be a job shift or job change, which is quite likely during this time, in case you're awaiting some news, or in case your dasha is favorable, or this could also be an opportunity for you to look for better opportunities for your overall growth and well-being. Venus does very well in the 11th house. Apparently most of the grahas, from a transit perspective or a placement perspective, do well in the 11th house, more from a materialistic point of view. But Venus is one such graha. When it is exalted and there in the 11th house, it supports in creating influence on other people, because we see the wider social network from the 11th house as well. So this is your opportunity to bring your inner personality out in the open, to have a command over whatever you say and try to influence a lot of people. You might have the potential to influence masses during this time, but start with a few people. Try to come out in the open, move out of your shell. This is also your 6th Lord, which is going into the 11th house. That will help you become successful in some sort of competition, okay, and you will gain out of this competition here. One thing that you have to be mindful of during this time is to avoid any kind of extravagance and impulsive decisions when it comes to buying something or making a purchase or having some sort of expenditure. Otherwise, this could be detrimental to your overall well-being. During this transit, Venus is going to be aspecting your 5th house by its 7th aspect. Venus desires your better future. Venus desires children, for you to put creative pursuits in anything that you're doing. This is also the house where we see progress. Venus desires progress during this time. So there are gains and progress as well. So it is time for you to make the most of it. Avoid overindulgence. Pray to Lakshmi, Shakti, or any female deity during this time. Use mantras related to Lakshmi, use mantras related to any female deity that you believe in. You will receive multifold results during this time. In this transit, your 5th house and 6th house are likely to demonstrate positive results. So good for the future, and also to fix some daily routines in your life that could be the priority or the need of the hour. Overall, I say and feel that it's a positive transit. You need to make the most of it, and I wish you the very best. Let's not talk about Gemini Ascendants. For Gemini Ascendants, Venus is the only Yoga Karaka planet. It is your 5th Lord and it is your 12th Lord. And your 5th Lord and 12th Lord is making a transit in the 10th house in its exaltation sign of Pisces. Venus rules future, progress, which is seen from the 5th house, children, progeny, your creative ability, your overall education. It is a very futuristic house. It is connected to your past life as well, but more towards the deeds that will fructify results, whether they are good results or bad results, for your future based on your karmas. So we also say Purva Punya. This is the house where the king sits. Venus also rules your 12th house, which is the house of losses, expenditure, your higher self-awareness, your higher self-consciousness, the house of sleep, bed comforts, and also spirituality or related practices that you have. This Venus is making a transit in the 10th house. Venus is also one of the significators of the 10th house. Now there is a caveat to this transit. Venus gains direction strength in the 4th house, which means it has 100% power as far as direction is concerned. Now when Venus comes in the 10th house, it is struggling as far as getting directions is concerned. So this Venus needs to be channelized. This Venus needs to be directed. It is also conjoined that Rahu there in the 10th house, which will expand some of the significations related to 10th house matters, which is your career, job, profession. So without a doubt, the next 20-25 days are going to be eventful, are going to be quite active, and will keep you on the toes as far as work related matters are concerned. Take a step back, relax, take it easy. You might need to slow down for a bit. You might come across a situation wherein you're confused about certain decisions related to your work, and that is something which you need to think through and reflect during this time. So I would call it a month of reflection as far as future work related matters are concerned. See, this transit for Venus is anyway positive. It is in the exaltation sign. It is transiting in one of the most important kendras, being your 5th Lord. It is in the 10th. It is creating a Rajya Yoga during this time. So this will very much dependent on the kind of dasha antardasha that you're running. If Venus is playing a role and strongly disposed in your chart, you're likely to achieve positive results. In order to channelize this Venus appropriately, read Sri Suktam or worship Lakshmi during this time. You can also keep some white flowers in your home and surround yourself with white flowers. Most importantly, one thing that you have to do during this time is to declutter your office space or the place where you work. Make sure that it is organized, clean. That is an ultimate remedy for you. It should be presentable. One thing is that you need to be presentable at the work as well, and that's something which you will consciously focus on during this time. The second is that your workplace should be presentable. Venus by its 7th aspect will be aspecting your 4th house, and it desires you to bring some sort of comfort, happiness and satisfaction in your life. More at the mental level, do things which make you feel content, that make you feel happy. So take some time in terms of pursuing your personal interests during this time. Make the most of it. During this transit, your 4th house and 5th house are likely to demonstrate positive results. So it's all about happiness and also about a good future. Overall, I would say it's a positive transit, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Cancer Ascendants. For Cancer Ascendants, Venus becomes a ruler of the 4th house and the 11th house, and this Venus is transiting in the 9th house, your ruler of your happiness, satisfaction, your homeland, those people who you are closely connected to, which is also your mother. We see mother from the 4th house. We see our overall comfort space where we love to be, things that make us feel happy, that make us feel content from the 4th house. Venus also rules your 11th house of gains, of expansion. 11th house is a very expansive bhava. However, we also see bigger enemies from the 11th house. So that is also something which Venus rules, because 11th house is 6th from the 6th house. We see the wider social network, friends, we see elder siblings from the 11th house. This Venus is making a transit in the 9th house of dharma, fortune, father or father figure, long distance travel, long distance journey for either dharmic pursuits or for leisure. We also see higher learning and higher education from the 9th house. It is one of the most important trikona or trinal houses of the chart. This is where your bhagya or fortune really sits. So from a transit perspective, 4th Lord making a transit in the 9th house is forming a yoga. It is a Raja Yoga in transit. It is also your 11th lord making a transit in 9th house. So a lot of gains has come in, a lot of fortune, which is gains of your fortune or support of your fortune. And at the same time, your happiness, satisfaction is coming in the Dharma Sthana. So anything related to Dharma, fortune, long distance travel during this time is going to bring in a sense of joy, is going to bring in a sense of satisfaction, is going to bring some new opportunities for you. The more you focus on higher learning, it will be supportive of your mental satisfaction and well-being, and at the same time gains in the long run. So you need to make sure that this month for you is all about higher learning, it's about upskilling. All the mundane knowledge, the knowledge of the modern world, which is very much practical in nature, is also ruled and governed by Venus. Pick up a course which is very much practical in nature. Talk about AI or any of the technological developments or anything that you can apply in your work life. Pick that up and try to implement during this time. Venus will be aspecting your 3rd house by its 7th aspect. Venus desires you to bring in harmony in your efforts, be very committed and be very passionate about the kind of efforts that you put in, because passion is also seen from Venus. And during this time, if you get a mentor and if you take their blessings or advice or a guru upadesha, this could be extremely beneficial for you during this time. You also need to bring in harmony in your own dharma, in your own religion, or whoever you believe in. You need to be the protector of your dharma. Your 3rd house and 4th house is likely to demonstrate positive results. Efforts are going to bring in satisfaction, and it is all about attaining mental peace for you during this time. Overall, I say it's a positive transit, it's a blessed transit, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Leo ascendants. For Leo ascendants, Venus becomes the ruler of the 3rd house and the ruler of the 10th house. On one hand, it is ruling your efforts, your growth, which we also see from the 3rd house because it is one of the Upachaya bhavas. 3, 6, 10 and 11 are Upachaya houses that indicate growth. It also rules communication for you. It rules younger siblings. It rules change, because 3rd house is the first stepping stone of change. We also see free will in astrology from the 3rd house. Most importantly, Venus also rules 10th house, which is an important kendra for Leo ascendants. Therefore, Venus does hold an important place as far as Leo ascendants are concerned, because it rules your career, your profession, your action in the society, what you should be doing in this world to survive, to sustain yourself, and to take care of those who are surrounded by you. This Venus is making a transit in the 8th house in its exaltation sign of Pisces. 8th house is a very secretive house. It is the house of occult. Most importantly, it is the house of longevity. It is the Ayush Bhava. Venus is the only planet that attained the knowledge of Mrit Sanjeevani from Lord Shiva. Therefore, with that aspect, Venus is one of those planets that does well in the 8th house. Firstly, it is a natural benefic. Secondly, when it's in exaltation sign, it is likely to do well as far as any change related matters are concerned, because it usually makes a person very much change ready, and these people, if other factors are supportive in the chart, find the change very interesting and they're very much open towards the change. So any kind of change that is coming your way, you must be receptive and open towards it, because there could be a certain change as far as your workplace related matters are concerned, as far as your growth opportunities are concerned, as far as your relationships with a younger sibling, or any short journeys that you might want to take during this time. This short journey could be within your country or it could be outside as well, but it might be for a brief period of time. Since Venus is in great dignity, it is an excellent time to leverage your research capabilities as far as your work is concerned. You can also learn astrology or related sciences during this time, because these are also hidden knowledge. So you'll be able to pick it up and do some good amount of research if you put certain efforts into the space. There could also be chances of inheritance if your dasha antardasha is supportive during this time, or certain matters related to your household, things related to your family matters or affairs, that could also be a cause of concern during this time, because by the aspect, Venus is aspecting your 2nd house by its 7th aspect, the sign of Virgo there, and Venus desires you to bring harmony, bring peace, and focus on bringing love, affection and passion towards matters related to your family. You might also need to take some very important financial decisions over the next 1 month or so. So your financial management will be put at test. So this is the kind of harmony and passion you need to bring in with your near and dear ones. By the blessings of Venus, you're also likely to bring in softness in your tone, in your voice, and in your overall speech. That could be beneficial for you, especially talking to people at your workplace, which could put you in good light. So make sure that you make the most of it. This is also the kind of remedy where you need to be conscious of your speech, conscious of what you say, how you say, and the kind of words that you use during this time. One thing that you have to be mindful of is avoid any kind of overindulgence as far as what you consume, what you eat. Make sure to have a balanced diet, make sure to have a balanced routine, and take care of your health and your gut particularly. That is the only advice that I can give you during this month. Overall, I say it's a mixed transit and I wish you the very best. Thank you very much. Let's now talk about Virgo ascendants. For Virgo ascendants, Venus becomes the ruler of the second house and the ninth house. It is an important planet for Virgos because Venus plays a very important role in wealth related matters. It rules the house of income, your accumulated wealth, family, those people who you would like to protect, your speech, and what you consume and how you feed yourself. Venus also rules the ninth house of dharma, fortune, father or father figure, long distance travel, higher learning. This is also the house where we see guru or mentor or a teacher from. It is one of the most important trinal houses of the all. And this Venus is making a transit in the 7th house. Venus is the significator of the 7th house. So from a signification point of view, without a doubt, it is a positive transit because Venus is also in its exaltation sign of Pisces. Now there's a caveat. 7th house for Virgo ascendants is a Bhadak Sthana, which is the house of obstacles. And this is what Jupiter is regarded as a Bhadakesha or Lord of Obstacles. However, Venus does not have that kind of dosha. So from a transit perspective, it is quite positive and it is well placed. The significator of 7th house being in the 7th house is an optimum time to focus on bringing harmony in your relationship, in your partnership, in your marriage, and for those who are opposite to you. Taking favors from those people that could be at your workplace, in your life in general. This is your second lord, lord of income, wealth, accumulated wealth, family, what you consume, your speech, making a transit in the 7th house. So your partner is going to play a very important role in making certain decisions related to your wealth or income. So if you have certain discussions or if you have certain decisions to make sure that you involve your partner or those people who are closely connected to you during this time. Your 9th lord is making a transit in the 7th house, which is forming a yoga in transit. This is quite a fortunate time because it is the lord of your bhagya, has moved into the 7th house. In case you are looking forward to starting a new business or a new line of work, could be an extremely favorable time. In case you're looking forward to making a move outside of your home country, homeland, this could be an optimum time to make certain plans because the situation could be quite favorable for you in case your dasha antardasha is supportive. Please remember that this kind of transit will only come once in a few months, and during this transit Venus is aspecting by its 7th aspect your ascendant, which is yourself. Venus desires a lot of improvement in your own self in terms of your overall personality and who you really are. So you need to focus on your physical well-being, you need to focus on your mental well-being, and you need to focus on increasing your intelligence to become more aware of yourself and the world, to enhance your interaction with the outer world. Step out of your comfort zone, go out in the open, influence people, take certain decisions and stand for yourself and also for your family during this time. This is the most important remedy for you, is to take a stand for your near and dear ones and support them during this time, and take advice of your spouse or your partner. This could be the ultimate life remedy for you over the next 20-25 days. During this transit, your first house and second house is likely to demonstrate positive results. So it is good for your own self and also for your family and accumulated wealth or your income. So this could also be an optimum time to create a secondary source of income for you if you're eyeing for something during this time. Overall, I say it is a positive transit and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Libra ascendants. For Libra ascendants, Venus becomes the Lagna Lord or the Lord of the Ascendant, because Venus for you rules the first house, which is yourself, your overall body, your vitality, your immunity, who you really are. We also see intelligence from the first house. Venus also rules the 8th house, which is the house of uncertainty. It is very different to the first house because this house represents sudden change. We also see longevity from the 8th house, research related areas, subjects, all kinds of secrets or hidden things in this world are seen from the 8th house. Occult sciences is also seen from this house. We see places across the seas, unknown, distant lands, and this Venus is making a transit in the 6th house of daily routine, of Shadripus, of 6 enemies of the mind. This is also the house where we see competition from. We also see job in a way from the 6th house, and we see debts and diseases from the 6th house. So it's got some positive as well as negative connotations as well. So firstly, the ascendant lord coming into the 6th house, this forms an important yoga which we call Dhimanta yoga, which is very good for intelligence. During this time you might come across situation wherein you say something which is supported by your higher intelligence, where other people will face a lot of problem or a challenge in terms of understanding or interpreting your words or what you mean, but it will be very intelligent in terms of what you share or say to others. From the perspective of the placement, this transit, Venus is said to be Maran Karaka or dead-like position in the 6th house, which is said to be a situation where Venus loses its significance. This is also your 8th lord that is going into the 6th house. However, it is in its exaltation sign, so there is certain support that Venus has. It is also forming a Viparita yoga because your 8th lord is in the 6th house. So this is a situation for you where circumstances will go against you and you will rise against those circumstances or the situation. So things could become a bit more difficult for you as far as daily routines or matters related to your job or workplace are concerned. There could also be minor health issues that you need to be careful of during this time because there is an eclipse that is happening in your 6th house during this time. Now, from a remedy perspective, what you need to work on is to improve significations of Venus for yourself. Focus on your relationship, partnership, and all the women in your life. Respect them regardless of your own gender. That is the ultimate remedy that you could do. The other remedy for you is to declutter your house, your space, or where you live. In case you don't need anything, you give it away, you donate, you give it to those who really need it, and get rid of all the old stuff during this time. That is the ultimate remedy for you, which will help you fix your daily routine, which will help you bring a lot more harmony and peace in your daily life and avoiding all those struggles. Venus by its 7th aspect is aspecting your 12th house, which means there's a greater desire to bring harmony in your spiritual quotient. The more spiritual you become during this time, the better would be the harmony. The higher would be the harmony and peace in your life. More at the mental level, it is going to make you more calm and a more composed person. And it is also good for your overall self-awareness and self-realization. So these are some of the things which you can work during this time. And this is also an opportunity for you to focus on your sleep. Ensure that you get good 8 hours of sleep at least during this time. That is again another remedy for you during this Venus's transit. Your 12th house and 1st house are likely to demonstrate positive results. So from the perspective of higher self-consciousness, it is positive. From a spiritual point of view, it is positive, which is going to make you a more intelligent and a knowledgeable person. Overall, I would say it is a mixed transit and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Scorpio ascendants. For Scorpio ascendants, Venus is the ruler of the 7th house and the ruler of the 12th house. So it rules marriage, partnership, relationship, harmony, those people who are opposite to you. 7th house also represents business. 7th house also represents foreign lands. 7th house represents all those people who are opposite to you in this world. It holds a great importance for any native. And Venus also rules the 12th house, which is the house of losses, expenditure, the house of sleep, the ability to give away, most importantly, the house of higher self-consciousness. 12th house plays a very important role in becoming more aware of our own self, and it plays a very important role in terms of ensuring that we are mature enough in this world. This Venus is making a transit in the 5th house of future, progress. The king sits in this house. This house holds a great authority. We also see children or all things associated to future from the 5th house. From a transit perspective, Venus naturally does very well in the 5th house. 5th house is considered to be a good placement for Venus. Now, from a lordship point of view, if I look at 7th lord coming into the 5th house, it is forming a yoga which is quite favorable during this time, because your lord of partnership, relationship, harmony, marriage is coming into the house of future. So those people who are likely to fall in love or getting settled or finding a partner, it is quite a favorable and an optimum time for them, because Venus is in great dignity. It's in its exaltation sign, in the sign of Pisces. This is also your 12th lord coming into the 5th house. Your expenditure is coming in future, so you might need to do some planning which is related to your expenses for your future, which will help you make better decisions, which will give you the capacity for saving. So make use of this time to plan expenditure. In case you have been thinking through that you will pen down the kind of expenditure that you will have in your household, you will go with the kind of budget planning and some of these things which you might have deferred for a long period of time, this is an optimum potential time to be able to do that. So you can curtail on some of the unnecessary expenditure, which will give you a greater potential for savings that will help you making some wise decisions for the near future. Those who might like to venture into any kind of speculative business, just be careful during this time, because your decision making capabilities are going to be at test. So this is something which you have to take a very conscious and a calculative decision during this time. Venus by its 7th aspect will be aspecting your 11th house. Venus desires to bring harmony in gains, in achieving material success or material wealth and all kinds of comforts in life. So you might want to venture out and spend on luxuries, but you need to be careful. You need to manage your household expenditure during this time, and that is the ultimate life remedy for you over the next 25-30 days. By an aspect perspective, it is quite positive. It is supportive of the 11th house matters. In case you're looking forward to getting a promotion or any kind of recognition or any kind of reward, incentive, things are quite positive. In case your dasha antardasha is supportive, you're likely to achieve what you desire. During this transit, your 11th house and 12th house are likely to demonstrate positive results. So there is going to be gains, and at the same time there's going to be expenditure as well. Focus on getting a good night's sleep during this time, at least 8 hours. Overall, I would say it is a positive transit for Scorpio ascendants, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Sagittarius ascendants. For Sagittarius ascendants, Venus becomes the ruler of the 6th house and the 11th house. 6th house and 11th house has something in common, and that common factor is enemies. 6th house represents enemies, 11th house represents bigger enemies, because that is 6 from the 6th house. But then some positive implications are also there, some positive significations are also there. 6th house is all about daily routines, your overall well-being, health, mental as well as physical wellness. 6th house represents the enemies of the mind. It represents job as well. It has a greater connection to the job because it talks about things that we do on a day-to-day basis, and job is one thing that we do on a day-to-day basis. And Venus also rules the 11th house of wider social network, your gains, the ability to influence other, the power of an authority you hold, the kind of command that you hold, because Venus represents interaction of all kinds. So how you build a connect with the outer world, how you build that synergy with other people for your own benefit is also lauded by Venus. Though Venus is a potent malefic for all the Jupiter ruled ascendants, which is Sagittarius and Pisces, but in this transit, Venus is in transit in the 4th house in its exaltation sign of Pisces. So A, Venus is in its exaltation sign. B, it gains directional strength during this time because in its 4th house, so there are blessings of the Digpala Devata. So from that aspect, it's a plus and a plus, which is positive. It's quite a positive time for Sagittarius ascendants, one of those rare Venus transit that will turn out to be positive in case your dasha antardasha is supportive during this time, because this is your 6th lord and the 11th lord making a transit in the 4th house. So it wants to put a lot more focus in making you feel comfortable, making you feel joyful, satisfied during this time. Comfort is at home, so you would like to spend a lot more time at home during this time. Those who love to work from home, make the most of this opportunity, because this is something which you are going to love and cherish. You're going to love the household environment. You're going to love connecting with your near and dear ones. This is also one opportunity to mend ties with your mother, to improve relationship, to make it even more stronger than ever with your mother or those people who are from your homeland, or those people who you like or you protect. From that aspect, it is quite good. You also need to think about those things that make you feel happy, that make you feel content, and those interests or hobbies or areas that you like to do, or things that you like to do, which you would carry on a day-to-day basis and make it a habit. So it is time to pursue your personal interest. Make that a priority during this time. There's also a greater focus on your overall environment at the workplace during this time, and how you can really build harmony with other people, build credible and fruitful relationships, because Venus by its 7th aspect is aspecting your 10th house. It wants to bring in harmony at your work. The message is very clear that it wants you to be a lot more interactive, to build your relationship or your interpersonal skill with the other people, so that you can build credible, long-lasting relationships, and through these relationships your growth is guaranteed. Your workplace environment is likely to become more positive if you work on some of these significations. As a remedy, keep a white flower plant at your home, either indoors or outdoors, and make sure that you take care of it every day. You water it, you try to nurture it each and every day. This is an ultimate remedy for you that you can have. You can also worship Durga, Lakshmi, Shakti, or any female deity during this time at home. This will give you a lot of peace and joy during this time. During this transit, your 10th house and 11th house are likely to demonstrate positive results. So from a workplace point of view, it is good. Job related matters or profession related matters are going to improve. There should be new opportunities, and at the same time there are chances of gains and building your overall wider network by the ability of your influence. One of the things that you also need to work on is your overall personality, your presentation skills, and how you present yourself in front of others. Be very conscious about it and take certain decisions or actions for your own self. Overall, I would say it is a positive transit, it's a blessed transit, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Capricorn ascendants. For Capricorn ascendants, Venus becomes a very important planet. It is a Yoga Karaka planet for you because it rules your 5th house and the 10th house. It rules one trinal house, it rules one quadrant or a Kendra house. Therefore, by the basic principles, it becomes a Yoga Karaka for Capricorn ascendants. It is the ruler of 5th house, which is all about future, your children, progress. This is where the king sits. It is all about the near future. We also see creative pursuits from the 5th house. We see speculation from the 5th house. It plays a very important role in connecting the past life deeds to the actions that you take in the near future, and how fruitful or not so fruitful it will be. We also see mantras from the 5th house. 5th house and the Lord plays a very important role in ensuring whether if we use a particular mantra, will it be beneficial for us or not, whether we will be consistent in chanting mantras or not, whether we will be dedicated towards it or not, whether we will be dedicated towards prayers, or whether we will be consistent towards our prayers or not. Venus also rules the 10th house of profession, career, your work, job, your overall actions in the society, and what you do to survive in this world, what you do to live in this world, to have a good living, which is all about work, which is all about having a job. This Venus is making a transit in your 3rd house, which is the house of change, the house of efforts, younger sibling, your overall communication. We also see hands from the 3rd house, so anything that you do with your hands. The message is very clear. A change is coming, which is very much related to your work and your future. So if you're looking for a new job, new opportunities, change is coming, it might just be there. If you have been working on a new opportunity, it was not closing, maybe this is a time or a message when Venus is transiting in its exaltation sign, and it is supporting, in case your dasha, antardasha, pratantardasha is favorable, is supportive of the fact that this change can really kick in and you can have a new opportunity in your hand, and that could be quite progressive for your future. If not, this is the time for you to put in a lot more efforts as far as your future related decisions are concerned. Sit down, spend time with yourself to jot down your goals and things that you wish to achieve over the next few months. This could also be an optimum time to do things differently and bring in the element of communication in your job or at your workplace. So for example, if you have been doing some things, try to do it differently, try to be more communicative, expressive as far as your oral as well as written communication is concerned, and the way you present your ideas, the way you present yourself needs improvement, needs a kind of growth, needs to change for good. That is a very clear message that Venus is giving you during this time. You might also need to focus on building relationship with your younger sibling if you have, and having that communication. So anything that you do at your workplace that involves your hand, this is going to be beneficial for you. Anything that you do at your home or with your children that involves your hand, it could be writing, it could be gardening, it could be working in your house or working in the kitchen. So do this as a remedy. Write a journal, put your thoughts, communicate in writing and also verbally with those who you know at your workplace, and make the most of this opportunity during this time. Venus by its 7th aspect will be aspecting your 9th house, so it wants to bring in harmony in your bhagya, in your fortune, in your dharma. So the more dharmic you become, the more focused you become in terms of doing some good deeds, the better it is for you as far as Venus related significations are concerned. This could also be an optimum time for you to find yourself a mentor or a guru or someone you could look up to and get some advice, get some diksha, get some suggestions during this time, which could be ultimately beneficial for you. During this transit, your 9th house and 10th house are likely to demonstrate positive results. So from a bhagya perspective, fortune perspective, it is good. From the workplace perspective, new opportunities or job, it is good again. And I feel it's a positive transit for Capricorn ascendants. Change is coming, and hopefully it should be a good change. You need to embrace it. I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Aquarius ascendants. For Aquarius, Venus becomes a yoga karaka again. It is the ruler of your 4th house and 9th house. One Kendra house and one trinal house Venus rules for Aquarius. Therefore, it's a yoga karaka, one of the most important planets for Aquarius. Venus rules the 4th house of Sukha Bhava, overall happiness and your comfort space. We also see mother from the 4th house. We see your homeland, those places where you feel most comfortable, most protected, or you feel at ease or at home. And at the same time, Venus rules your 9th house of fortune, dharma, father figure, higher learning, long distance travel, any guru or a mentor that you might have. Now, there is always a saying that Aquarius is a very karmic sign. Now, one of the reasons why Aquarius is a very karmic sign is because the lord of mother, which is the 4th house, and the lord of father, which is 9th house, is Venus. So naturally, any Aquarius ascendant has a lot of karmic depth or a karmic purpose with regards to their parents. This goes without a doubt. This Venus is making a transit in the 2nd house of income, in its exaltation sign of Pisces. This is a natural Dhan Yoga in transit, where the 9th house lord is making a transit in the 2nd house, forming a beautiful Dhan Yoga in its exaltation space in a great dignity. This house also represents your speech, your family, those people who you would like to protect. Your 4th lord and 9th lord is making a transit in the 2nd house. The message is very clear. What brings you satisfaction, what gets you mental peace is your income, your ability to take care of your loved ones and your family. One thing that you have to be careful of is to avoid any kind of overindulgence and to focus on your daily diet and daily routine and things that you consume on a day-to-day basis. That is the only remedy which I can suggest you as far as life-related matters are concerned. For those who are looking forward to starting or getting a new source of income, this could be a potentially favorable time. And this kind of Venus transit will only happen once in few months. This is an opportunity for you. Firstly, to spend a joyful time with your loved ones, with your family, bring a kind of softness in your voice, in your tone, and your overall speech. Be more communicative. Be more open to listening to ideas and communicating your ideas to the others as well. This is your ninth lord, the lord of dharma, fortune, father or father figure, and higher learning, moving in your second house. A message is very clear. If you were to earn income, if you were to make wealth, you need to have higher learning. You need to learn something new. You need to adapt yourself with the changing time, which is to upskill yourself in the mundane knowledge of the modern world. Things that are very much practical in nature. You might be well educated, but at the same time, you might need to pick up a course or a certification or something that could be quite beneficial for you in terms of getting you more income or wealth. This is also a time for you to improve your financial management abilities or learn how to better manage your finances during this time. Venus by its 7th aspect will be aspecting your 8th house. Venus desires a kind of harmony in any kind of change or any kind of research related subjects. So any change that is coming, it should be easy for you, condition if you are receptive towards that change. You might also come across with people who speak a different kind of language, where you might need to communicate with them. You might need to build some relationship. It could be at your workplace, it could be in some other country, it could be some travel opportunities for you. So this could be a potentially favorable time as far as these matters are concerned. During this transit, your 8th house and 9th house are demonstrating positive results, which means it is positive from a transformation point of view, from a change point of view, and also more from bhagya or fortune point of view as well. So any long distance travel can also bring in some sort of joy, even if it's for a short span of time. Overall, I would say it is a positive transit. It is an opportunity transit for you to focus on wealth, income, and family. I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Pisces ascendants. For Pisces ascendants, Venus becomes the ruler of the 3rd house and the 8th house. So it rules two of the not so good houses in a particular chart. 3rd house, though it is about growth, it is about efforts, it's about communication, using your hands, younger sibling, it is the house of change. But 3rd lord is not considered to be the most ideal or the benefic planet for any ascendant. Similarly, it goes for the 8th lord as well, which makes Venus a potent malefic for Pisces ascendants, because Venus rules unnecessary change. Venus rules sudden changes or ups and downs in life. It rules longevity as well, but at the same time, it rules very hidden, dark, deep places, which can make a person confused, which can make a person very rigid, which can also make a person very secretive. So those are the kind of things which Venus rules for Pisces ascendants. However, this transit is exceptional because Venus is making a transit in your ascendant and in the exaltation sign of Pisces, and the dispositor of Pisces, which is your Lagna Lord Jupiter, still continues to transit in the 2nd house in its last leg in the sign of Aries in a very strong disposition. Therefore, this is one opportunity for you that you will only get once in a few months, where Venus has come into the ascendant. The 3rd lord is in the ascendant, efforts are in the ascendant, change is there. The message is very clear because both 3rd and the 8th lord represent change, and it is making a transit in the ascendant. It wants to bring in a positive change in your life. Venus's transit in the ascendant is the message of improving your overall personality, to develop your ability in terms of how you present your ideas and how you present yourself, most importantly. So your grooming, your overall personal grooming is going to be put at test. So these are some of the areas where you might have to consciously work on, and this transit also demands a lot more communication that you might have done in the past. So be more expressive while dealing with people, while interacting with others, to build harmony, to build those relationships that could be long lasting during this time. One of the things that you have to be mindful of is to avoid any kind of indulgence and make sure that you exercise and you work out each and every day to maintain your level of energies, and at the same time to take care of your overall mental as well as physical well-being. Venus by its 7th aspect is aspecting your 7th house, so it desires to put harmony in your marriage or married life, or if you're not married, maybe with your relationship, or those people who are opposite to you, those people who are trying to find a potential new relationship for marriage or any love interest. This could be a potentially favorable time that you might come across someone, but you just have to be careful or cautious during this time to ensure whether it will last for a long period of time or it will not, because you might have a tendency for making frequent changes during this time, so just need to be careful. During this transit, your 7th house and 8th house are likely to demonstrate positive results. So from a point of view of business and any such decisions related to your business, it looks like a favorable time. And as far as change is concerned, it might be slightly uncomfortable in the beginning, but with time it is going to improve. You also must remember that for the first 15 days, Sun is also making a transit in your ascendant, which continues to give you a lot more energy and power and blessings of Shiva within your ascendant itself. It's quite an eventful month for Pisces ascendants where you can really make the most of it. This is one such transit that will come once in few months. It is an opportunity for you to evolve your personality, to influence others, which will help you make some very good decisions for yourself and your future. This is really going to make you change ready, which is good for your overall growth. I would say it is a positive transit and I hope you make the most of it. Thank you very much. So this was about Venus's transit in its exaltation sign of Pisces, which personally I am very excited about. I hope and believe Venus's transit in Pisces bring a sense of harmony, joy, abundance, and all things that we desire in this world. And it also helps us increase in our spiritual quotient and helps increase our devotion towards God, towards Mother Earth, and towards the Mother. Thank you very much. God bless you all.